Some buildings are just buildings, structures of wood and stone. But then there are the ones that tell a story. And Montreal's Notre Dame Basilica, it's definitely one of those. This isn't just a building, it's a 200-year-old drama written in gold, glass, and light. All right, so let's dive in. But we're not going to start with some dry date or a fact. No, we're going to start with a feeling. The feeling of walking through its massive doors for the very first time. That moment when your whole sense of scale and beauty just gets completely rewritten.
And that feeling is pretty much universal. Seriously, it doesn't matter who you are or what you believe. The sheer spectacle inside, that deep, mesmerizing blue, the brilliant gold, the ridiculously intricate carvings, it's all designed to just stop you in your tracks.
And hey, that's not just a feeling. It's backed by data. In 2023, a huge analysis of TripAdvisor reviews from all over the globe ranked this very building as the 6th most beautiful in the entire world. Not in Canada, on planet Earth.
That ranking helps explain this number, 11 million. That's how many people are drawn to see it every single year, making it one of the most visited monuments in all of North America. It's right up there with landmarks in much, much bigger cities. So the big question is, how did this incredible masterpiece even happen? You might think it was simply born out of pure devotion. But the real story? Well, it's actually rooted in a pretty bitter crosstown rivalry. To really get Notre Dame, you have to picture Montreal back in the 1820s. The city was basically in the middle of a religious power struggle. It's that classic tale, right? The old guard versus the new.
So in one corner, you had the Sulpicians. They were the original religious authority, the ones who'd been running the show for ages. And in the other corner, you had the city's newly installed bishop, a guy named Jean-Jacques Lardiguet, who was dead set on making it clear he was the new boss. Both of them decided to build a massive new church as a statement of power.
What this means is that Notre Dame was a deliberate act of defiance. The Sulpicians built it to be bigger and grander than their rival's cathedral. And as history clearly shows, their vision didn't just succeed, it completely triumphed. It became an icon, while its rival was eventually lost to fires and demolition.
So, to build their monumental statement piece, the Sulpicians needed an architect. And their choice was, to put it mildly, something nobody saw coming.
They hired James O'Donnell. Now think about this for a second. The biggest, most important French Catholic project in the city was given to an Irish-American Protestant from New York. He was an outsider in every single way you can imagine, but he was chosen for one reason. He was the best at designing in that dramatic, awe-inspiring Gothic revival style they crave.
O'Donnell moved to Montreal and just dedicated his entire life to this project, obsessing over every single detail. But in a really tragic twist, he got sick and died just a year after the main part of the church was finished. He never got to see his masterpiece fully completed. And this is where his story becomes legendary. Knowing he was dying, O'Donnell, the Protestant architect, converted to Catholicism. And why? So he could be buried inside the walls of the church he had poured his soul into. To this day, he is the only person ever interred in the Basilica's crypt.
Okay, so that's the grand structure. Now let's head inside and see how it was transformed into the breathtaking spectacle we see today.
Believe it or not, O'Donnell's original interior was actually considered too simple, a bit plain. And worse, there was a giant window behind the altar that created a huge problem. During morning mass, the sun would stream in and literally blind the entire congregation. So, in the 1870s, they brought in an architect named Victor Bugeaud to completely transform the space, inspired by the gorgeous Sainte-Chapelle in Paris. And what a transformation it was. Bugeaud got rid of the blinding glare and created a divine vision, that famous vaulted blue ceiling. It's adorned with 4,500 stars, and every single one is crafted from 23-karat gold leaf. He basically built the heavens inside the church, as a tribute to the Virgin Mary, Our Lady. And the storytelling continues in the stained glass, but in a really unexpected way. Unlike pretty much any other major church you'll visit, these windows don't show scenes from the Bible. Nope. They were made in the 1920s, and they tell an idealized history of Montreal itself. It's a unique chronicle of French-Canadian history, told in vibrant, glowing glass. But the experience here isn't just visual. It's also auditory. It's home to a world-famous organ with an incredible 7,000 pipes. Its towers hold 11 bells, including the absolute monster in the West Tower called Jean-Baptiste. It weighs 24,000 pounds, and it's so powerful that they can only ring it on special occasions for fear of damaging the very tower that holds it.
So from these contentious beginnings, the Basilica has really evolved. For almost 200 years, it's been more than just a house of worship. It has become one of Canada's most important public stages.
Just think about the moments that have played out here. It's where global superstar Celine Dion had her fairy tale wedding. It's where the nation of Canada has said goodbye to its leaders, hosting state funerals for prime ministers like Pierre-Elliott Trudeau and Brian Mulroney. It's a stage for both incredible celebration and solemn reflection.
And today, that history just keeps evolving. By day, it's a national historic site, but by night, it completely transforms. An award-winning multimedia show called Aura uses the Basilica's amazing architecture as a canvas, projecting light and sound in a breathtaking fusion of the past and the present.
When you look back, it's amazing. Notre Dame started as an architectural weapon in a religious rivalry. It became the final resting place of its own creator, a canvas for the city's story, and a stage for the nation's history. It just proves that the greatest buildings aren't static monuments. They're living, breathing spaces that are always gathering and telling new stories. The only question is, what will its next chapter be?